So question 4 is an interesting one. So, what is a common characteristic behaviour of individuals with PDA during stressful situations?
Do we need to know what a stressful situation is, really, don't we?
Well, a stressful situation can be nothing that we would consider a stressful situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what would you say in this particular instance would be a stressful situation?
Well, just looking at my own children, I would say asking them to do something at short notice is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stressful situation.
Let's look at the classroom. So a stressful situation in the classroom would be noise,
heat, light,
being asked a question.
One I was talking about on a workshop in the University of Lincoln yesterday. I was busy yesterday. I was everywhere. I was omnipresent. Yesterday was we talked about the fact that I run dyscalculia workshops. Not very often. It's not one of the most popular things I do, but I do run them. And one of the things that I've noticed is it attracts mathematicians.
Right.
No, it's not mathematicians I want, it's special needs coordinators and teaching assistants.
Yes.
It's not about maths, it's about additional needs. But it attracts mathematicians. And the mathematicians come along and I'll put a question on the board and then we'll go, how did you answer that? How did you do it? It's like maths, there's 20 ways to do everything, isn't there? So what worked for you and stuff like that. And there's a reason behind that. But anyway, nonetheless, I then found early on, I'd go, oh yeah, you've done it, that's interesting. And then I'd go, Mrs. Smith, could you come up and show them what you did? Oh gosh, no. This is a maths teacher with a very simple maths question. She knows the answer, she knows how she did it, she's used to standing up in front of 30 children and delivering this, and yet she's just gone, and gone to pieces.
Yeah.
You know? And so then I learned what you do is you go, that's great, that is. In about 5-10 minutes, could you come up and show the group? Oh yeah, no problem, and she'll be fine. So if the teacher is finding it difficult, the child who is not a mathematician and not experienced in these things. So again, you've got to give these children warning. And I talked about the dentist after one of the other, this immediate dentist appointment. What? Dentist now? Difficult, isn't it?
I was at a workshop a few months back and everybody was sort of milling in and people sat down and you got the instructor just talking around and just talking about it too. And all of a sudden he goes, what are you here for today? Just like that. I thought, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, here. Then he goes, the rest of you, get ready because I'm coming around and asking all of you.
Oh, it's just nasty, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
So everybody's terrified before the day starts.
Yeah, it's not good,
Wow.
is it?
But at least they give him the thinking time. I'll better listen to what he's saying because I'm going to say more or less the same if it's right.
Yeah, exactly. It is difficult, isn't it?
So how am I going to do
So that's a stressful situation, and there are all sorts of kind of things, I think your point that stressful situations are different from one person to another.
They're hugely different, and I think that what we consider stressful is something that is like that, but just being able to walk through a door
I
is
see that a
stressful.
lot, yeah. And then we get into hypervigilance, don't we?
Yeah.
So I've had young people who literally can't walk in through a door. And it's a shame really, because a lot of these things are fixable, staggered timings, alternative entrances, this sort of thing. The most extreme one I did was we had a load of kids at a Peru in London, and they used to stay on the street before coming in the morning, and the local residents didn't like it, these kids, and then they're smoking and stuff like that, and we ended up getting the catering students to make bacon sandwiches in the morning, and all of a sudden there's nobody, a temptation to bring in. sometimes the thought of a bacon sandwich or alternative, whatever you like, is more powerful than your fear.
Yes, and it's a distraction, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we can tend to sort of focus on, can't get through the door. Why can't you get through the door? And we forget about, well, getting through that door means I'm going to be mixing in with other people that say, who is through the other side of that door?
Yeah.
Is somebody going to talk to me?
Yeah.
Is this going to happen? Is that? And the self-talk and the anxiety is just going up and up and up and up and up. So the walking through the door is not the issue, it's what's on the other side.
And there's two elements there, two solutions there. How are we going to get them through that door? Or what is the alternative to getting them through that door? And that's you've got to look at the stressful situation. What is causing the stressful situation? What is it? And so, for example, when we talked about that, coming up and speaking in front of a group, while I was saying it, I was thinking, actually, something that I really enjoy is being chucked in at the deep end, going, Andrew, Dave Wassett's not showing up. Can you go up and say something? You got an hour. Yeah, all right. So there we go. What common characteristic? Increased compliance? Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. It could be that person goes, let's just get through this. It's okay, no problem. Eagerly seeking social interactions. I don't understand the question there.
No, so a common characteristic of individuals during a stressful situation is they're really looking to seek social interaction, to hide their fear in that. I don't think so. They do look for social interaction, but not when under a stressful situation. I don't think so. That one would definitely not come under that.
No, they're more like the opposite.
Yeah.
Aggressive or challenging behaviour?
It's because of that last one.
Yeah.
Looking for the person.
Yeah. And also, can we just say again, challenging behaviour, it's anxious behaviour.
Anxious behaviour, indeed. And aggressive, so I was talking to a lady before you came here this afternoon, and they were talking about, yes, we do alternative provisions for children with special needs, etc. But we don't deal with aggressive children. We don't accept aggressive children, things like that. And I'm saying, okay, so if a school comes to you and says that the reason they can't be in school at the moment is because of them being aggressive, do you actually look at, are they an aggressive person, or has something happened to make them aggressive, which is completely different? And I think I told you this morning about a lad that had a build-up of things that just took his anxiety way over the edge. He ran around the class and hid under the table because he thought that would be safe there. Unfortunately, the teacher then sort of says, you can't go under the table. So he goes down under the table, and the next thing the child's got to do is get away, leg comes out, foot straight in the face. He got excluded for aggression, but it wasn't aggression.
Reaction.
It's reaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in a situation at the moment, right now, I'm remarried. Last year and a half. My previous relationship was not good. Obviously, that's why you get out, right? Now, I'm very happy. I've got good communication with my wife. Everything is fine. We get on really well. And I spoke to her the other day and I said, I bet you were really difficult to your ex-husband. She went, what do you mean? I said, what I'm saying is, I know I was really difficult in my previous relationship. I was a difficult person. And now I'm not a difficult person, and neither are you, but neither of us have changed. What has changed is the setting that we find ourselves in and the dynamic. You're still the same person, you're dynamic of what is around you. So that child, that they'll say, we don't accept challenging behaviour in our school, well, it might be the mere movement to that setting. That could be the thing. That could be the one thing that says, actually, life is good. How many times have you had a job that makes you grumpy? And I remember working in a plastic factory and I hated it. It was horrible. And I just quit one day and I went home and I just lay in the bath and I just felt like the whole world was the most beautiful place on the planet. the whole world was the most beautiful place. Edit that. But you know, so yeah, and that's what it is, isn't it?
It is.
It can be the setting, it can be the people around you,
Yeah.
it can be anything.
Noise. You and one of your workshops talk about the child that's throwing the table and chairs across the classroom. It's a matter of so do we need to deal with that, or what is it we deal with? And you say no, we deal with the bit that comes way before that, and it might have been the child clicking the pen that was stuck in the pen, or they're playing with the Velcro on their shoe, and the irritation of a noise that's not being dealt with, and that has just built up their tolerance levels to be, I can't stand this anymore, and bang. We don't deal with the big stuff, we deal with the small stuff, which takes care eventually.
I 100% agree with you, 100% agree with you. And of course, just to sort of say, quite often, they look like they're breaking the place up, but they're very careful not to damage anything.
Yeah.
And that's a cry for help. Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, I went round to a parent's house once, and they were talking about this child who just come home from school, and he said he just threw everything all over the house, and he said, I videoed him. I said, oh, that'd be interesting. He was desperate to show me this video, and I said, blah, blah. And I remember you saying that, and I says, how amazing is that? He's chucked everything around, but he hasn't broken anything, and it's all laid out very strategically. So nothing has been damaged in your house, but he's made a mess because he was wanting to wanting to communicate something with you.
Yeah. No, I had one once. He was quite incredible. He was at a special school. His mother would park on her sister, his auntie's drive, which is literally a few doors from the school in the morning, and walk him down to school. And he would get out of the car and start throwing himself at the floor. And I was there, I was like, the stuff I do, I was hiding in the bushes because I didn't want to be present, you know. And there was this one bit where he threw himself down at the floor, but he banged his head. Now everyone's worried he's going to hurt himself, but you should have seen the shock on his face. He banged his head, and he's like, "Oh, I never meant to do that," you know, because it's all a statement. It's all a statement, you know. But then, on the other side of it, you do get self-injurious behaviours.
Yeah.
And so there's no right and wrong answer as well. I get back to that head teacher who's asking me stuff. Like, what do you mean? I don't know what I mean. What do you think? I don't know. Let's just try this and try that and do where we go. Gosh.
Yeah, because we've said it previously, we'll keep saying it, there is no answer, because all the stuff that we're saying, these are things to try, but you have to look at the situation at that time, what else is in that mix to then turn it around. And it's sort of, how do I, with this information, with what I've got in my kit, how do I turn that into being useful at this minute in time? Which
difficult.
is
Very, very difficult.
Oh God, it is, because if our children are being aggressive and challenging, 9 times out of 10, we are starting to become aggressive and challenging because our levels have gone up there as well.
Yeah. You know, I always say, we're having one meltdown, we don't need two. And yeah, I'm the worst. I was so angry about this dentist thing, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Yeah. Oh. Awful. Yeah. Let's we've got high tolerance for sensory stimuli.
I no.
I would say a low tolerance.
Low tolerance.
I would say it really, you know, let's strip this down. Although I was looking at it and I was going, there are the hyposensitive. The hyposensitive are those young people that need lots of sensory to make them comfortable. More common in ADHD than anything else. And but I would say generally, certainly in PDA and autism, I would say low tolerance for sensory stimuli. Let's try stripping everything back as best as we can. And that, you know, in a school, that's displays, that's noise, that's resources, that's dead spider plants. Throw the dead spider plants out, you don't need it. you know, and all that kind of stuff. So,
Mm.
right,
Thank you.
okay.